If you've ever burned a steak, guessed wrong on pizza stone heat, or wondered why one room feels colder than the rest, an infrared thermometer can fix that in seconds. Today, we're counting down the 5 best infrared thermometers on Amazon, and by the end, you'll know exactly which one fits your cooking, DIY, or home maintenance needs. Number 5. Mecurate Digital Infrared Thermometer. The Mecurate is the kind of temperature gun that looks simple, feels simple, and mostly behaves simple. It's built for quick point-and-shoot checks, and when I tested it on a preheating skillet, a pizza stone, and the outside casing of an air conditioner line, it gave fast readings that were usually in the ballpark. The temperature range is wide enough for most home jobs, reaching from 58 degrees Fahrenheit up to 11-12 degrees Fahrenheit, which is plenty for cooking and a lot of DIY tasks. One thing to like here is that it includes adjustable emissivity from 0.10 to 1.00, which matters more than most people realize. If you've ever aimed an IR gun at a shiny pan and got a weirdly low reading, emissivity is often the reason, and being able to tune it helps you get closer to reality across different surfaces. During testing, I found it more believable on cast iron and matte surfaces than on reflective stainless steel, unless I took the time to adjust settings carefully. In everyday use, the Mecurate feels best for casual home cooks who want to stop guessing. I used it to check griddle zones, hot center, cooler edges, and it's genuinely helpful for avoiding uneven cooking. It's also nice for quick, is this freezer actually cold checks, or verifying if sunlight is overheating a surface on a balcony or rooftop. But here's where it starts to lose points: consistency. On repeated scans of the same spot, especially if I changed the angle slightly, it sometimes bounced more than I'd like. 4. Etekcity Infrared Thermometer Lasergrip 774 Upgrade. The Etekcity Lasergrip 774 Upgrade is popular for a reason. It's a straightforward, no-drama temperature gun that's fast and easy to read. In my kitchen tests, checking oil temperature before frying and scanning the pizza stone during preheat, it responded quickly, and the grip and trigger style is comfortable even when you're doing multiple readings in a row. It's also built around a 12:1 distance-to-spot ratio, which is a sweet spot for most home users. The upgraded version also supports adjustable emissivity from 0.1 to 1.0, which gives it a big advantage over older fixed emissivity designs. When I used it on different materials, cast iron, ceramic, and painted drywall, it was noticeably easier to dial in more believable results once I matched emissivity. This makes it more versatile than just a grill toy. For home maintenance, I liked it for HVAC checks. Scan the vent output, scan the wall near windows, and you can quickly spot where a room is losing heat or cooling unevenly. The response time is around half a second, so you can paint across an area by scanning and watching the numbers change. Now the critical part. The top-end temperature range on this model goes to about 842 degrees Fahrenheit, which is enough for many grills and cooking surfaces, but not always enough if you're doing extremely hot pizza oven work or you want extra headroom for high-heat projects. In other words, it's great until you start doing the really intense stuff, and then you may wish you bought a higher range model. Number 3. Etekcity Temperature Gun Infrared Thermometer B0BGX95F4. This Etekcity model feels like the step where the brand starts aiming at people who actually use an infrared thermometer regularly, not just occasionally. The big standout in my testing was the wider temperature range. It's listed for -58 degrees Fahrenheit to 1113 degrees Fahrenheit, which gives you more breathing room for high-heat cooking, Blackstone-style griddles, and hotter metal surfaces during DIY work. If you like making pizza at higher temps, that extra headroom matters. It also keeps the adjustable emissivity feature, and Etekcity's guidance on changing emissivity makes it easy enough that you'll actually do it instead of ignoring it. I tested it on a dull cast iron pan, then on a shinier metal surface, and it was far easier to get stable, believable readings once I took emissivity seriously. That's the difference between a toy reading and something you can actually base decisions on. In the kitchen, this one is excellent for mapping heat zones. One quick scan across a pan shows hot spots instantly, great if you're trying to stop burning one side of a steak while the other side undersears. It's also useful for candy making setups where you want to confirm surface temperatures of pots or warming plates. Again, remembering this is surface temperature, not internal food temperature. For DIY and automotive style use, it's the kind of tool you reach for because it's fast. I used it to compare temperatures on different parts of a running appliance casing, and it gave quick feedback that helped identify what was normal warm versus maybe overheating. 2. ThermoPro TP30 Infrared Thermometer. The TP30 is one of those tools that feels like it was designed by people who actually use it near heat. In testing, it was quick, predictable, and easy to operate one-handed while managing cooking. It's rated for 58 degrees Fahrenheit to 1022 degrees Fahrenheit, and for most grilling, stovetop, and home maintenance needs, that range hits the practical zone without trying to be industrial, just for marketing. The biggest reason it ranks this high is how well its core specs match real-world use. It has a 12-to-1 distance-to-spot ratio, which means you can stand back at a safe distance and still measure a reasonably tight area. When scanning a grill grate or pizza stone, that distance-to-spot balance is exactly what keeps readings from getting muddy because you accidentally measured too wide an area. It also has adjustable emissivity from 0.10 to 1.00, which is a must if you want consistent results across different surfaces. When I set it properly and kept my distance consistent, it delivered repeatable readings with far less bouncing than the budget options. That repeatability is what makes you trust a tool. ThermoPro also lists a response time around 0.5 seconds, and that sounds minor until you're scanning multiple surfaces quickly, like checking which part of a pan is actually ready for a sear. It keeps up with you, and the backlit display plus auto-off features make it feel like a mature product, not just a cheap gadget. 1. MESTEK Infrared Thermometer Gun. The MESTEK takes the #1 spot because it felt the most confident across the widest variety of situations. It's rated for a larger temperature range, listed at 958 degrees Fahrenheit to 442 degrees Fahrenheit, so it has the headroom to handle extremely hot surfaces while still being useful for normal household checks. In testing, that extra range translated into peace of mind. You're less likely to cap out when you point it at something seriously hot. It also checks the most important performance boxes: adjustable emissivity from 0.10 to 1.00, a 12-to-1 distance-to-spot ratio, and a fast response time under 0.5 seconds. When scanning a pizza stone and then jumping to a skillet, it handled quick transitions well and produced readings that felt stable once settings were right. It's the closest thing here to an all-around infrared thermometer for people who cook and do DIY. A feature I genuinely appreciated is the 13-point laser guidance system. In real use, it helps you aim more precisely and understand what area you're measuring, which matters because IR thermometers average the temperature in the spot area. With cheaper single laser designs, it's easier to think you measured one point when you actually measured a wider zone. MESTEK also includes accuracy guidance and practical warnings in its documentation, like making sure emissivity matches the material, keeping the lens clean, and respecting distance-to-spot rules. That matters because it signals the company expects you to use it as a measuring tool, not a novelty. And that mindset shows up in how confidently it performs. Final thought. That's all for today, folks.